wonderful, and we have got ourselves a World Series. Braves closing out the Dodgers in Game 6 Saturday in Atlanta. Eddie Rosario with a 3-run home run in the fourth. Braves never look back. So here we go. We got Braves-Astros Game 1 tomorrow night, 7:30 Eastern, only on Fox. All right, KW, what else you got for us today?
Oh, we'll start with the weird Seattle versus Sporting KC. Christian Rodin blocking goalkeeper Tim Malia ends up getting rock bottomed. Ref said the takedown, quote, lacked brutality. So only a yellow for both guys. Chiefs scored 3 points. Sporting KC scored 2. They win 2-1. Moving on to the wonderful. Rockets up big on the Thunder on Friday night. Jalen Green going after Ja Morant's crown of best missed dunker. Look, I know Ja doesn't want to do the dunk contest. Would you do a missed dunk contest with Jalen Green? They don't have to go in. They just have to be close. Mike Muscala, unfortunately, misses out on the poster royalties. Rockets beat the Thunder, lost to Celtics last night. They're 1-2. Moving on to the weird Oklahoma versus Kansas. This is a 4th and 1. Caleb Williams hands it off to Brooks and then decides takes it back. Gets the first down on his own. Some say progress was stopped that shouldn't have counted, but it did. Oklahoma wins, stays undefeated, currently ranked 4th. Moving on to the wonderful, more Thunder. A lot of Thunder highlights, but they're always on the wrong end. This time they're in Philly. Baisley tries to dunk on Embiid. Embiid, literally a volleyball spike here. Sixers win. Thunder winless. And finally, the weird, my guy Danny Dimes. Third quarter of an odd 5-3 game. Here? Pettis with the toss to Danny Dimes for a 16-yard game. No big deal. Not like he was in the concussion protocol 2 weeks ago. Come on, Joe Judge. I love you, but let's wisen up here. It did provide a great highlight. Gets the Giants a win. And I got my upset alert, Nick. That's a weird and wonderful from the National Pastimes.
You did. Well,
certainly did. All right, we got Mike Vick back with us now. We're going to run the no huddle. We start down in Tampa, where the Bucs wasted no time putting it to the Bears. They led 21-0 before the second quarter even started. Tom Brady, flawless as usual, tossed 4 touchdowns, including number 600 for his career to Mike Evans. Wilds always says it's like he's just toying with the rest of the league out there, effortless. Tampa cruises to their 4th straight win. They're now 6-1 on the season. Hey, Mike Vick, are the Buccaneers the best team in the NFL?
Not the best team, but they do have one of the best offenses, and it's because of that guy, Tom Brady. But they're not the best team because on the defensive side of the ball, they still have some injuries. I still have some guys in and out of the lineup, and it's not because of the scheme, it's because of the personnel that's out there. So, you still got Green Bay, Dallas, Arizona, those teams playing well on both sides of the ball. So I think for that reason alone, the Bucs aren't the best team in the NFL right now.
Ooh, they look pretty good though, Mike. Here's what I thought was interesting. Tom Brady's got the most yards in the NFL. He's got 21 touchdowns. Nick, he was still in the game, and the Bears had no chance of coming back. Yeah. So Brady was either keeping his fantasy owners very happy, or he's gunning for that MVP. And there's a certain part of my heart that is still leaks Patriot regret of that 2007 season when Patriots were just lighting it up. But you know what? Things got a little bit too easy. And that's what this season reminds me of. It sounds weird, but I think that things are so easy. Eventually, they're going to run into a team like the Giants and all of a sudden throw them for a loop because they're not being challenged at all. Brady's just trying to stat pad and get his MVP.
Well, I do think that, listen, they are clearly calling plays, particularly near the goal line. The game's a blowout. You're still having Brady throw the ball to help Brady's numbers, and I'm totally fine with that. He's earned it. He totally changed the culture and changed the fortunes of the entire franchise. So if winning an MVP with Tampa is important to him, good for him. Broussard, to his credit, we tease him about the Jameis thing, but he did pick Brady to win MVP, and right now, I'd be shocked if Brady didn't win it, because the numbers are so good, Broussard, and they're going to continue to be this good because of the schedule. But the reason I can't call them the best team in the NFL is the schedule. Can we show it to you real quick? They've played 2 teams with a winning record. The Cowboys game came down to the very end, and the Rams, who beat them handily. The rest of the way, other than Buffalo, They might not play another team all year that finishes the season with a winning record. It almost feels to me like the two teams that played in the Super Bowl last year, Broussard, they would each be better off if they could have traded a couple games on their schedule. The Chiefs have played every good team in the AFC, and they're clearly not ready for it right now. Meanwhile, the Bucs have played almost no good teams. You feel like even if they wouldn't be 6-1, maybe they would be, it would help the Bucs to have more experience by the end of the season against the level of competition they're going to face in the playoffs. But it's not there. It's not like they've had a soft schedule early and then it gets hard late. It actually gets easier late. So I just think they're really, really hard to judge right now, Broussard, because the talent discrepancy between them and their opponents every single week is just massive. And it's going to continue to be.
Well, I do think they're the best team right now because everybody's got holes. The Rams' defense isn't what it used to be. The Packers are beating teams, but not all that impressively. The AFC, everybody's up and down. Buffalo hadn't yet beat a team with a winning record. Baltimore, I mean, we saw what just happened to them. They barely beat Detroit. Then they look great. Same thing with the Chargers. So everybody's got a question mark. Arizona, okay, undefeated. But in a big game, who you taking? Tom Brady or Kyler Murray? Thought so. All right, so I'm going with the Buccaneers. Nick, I do think it's a good point. And to what Mike said about the defense, the last 4 weeks, the Buccaneers defense has held their opponents to an average of below 15 points a game, which is great. But we don't know how much they've improved. I'll give you that because the schedule has been weak. They've played bad teams. They've done great against them, but what the level of competition is a question. So I will give you that. Wiles, I'm gonna push back though a little on Tom Brady padding stats. He only threw the ball 8 times in the second half. He could have easily had 6 touchdowns and over 300 yards. But I actually thought they took the foot off the gas in the second half. They scored 35 in the first half. They scored 3 in the second half. So Fournette ran it a lot. Ronald Jones got some carries. And like I said, Brady only threw it 8 times. It's not unusual to see a starting quarterback play through the third quarter and early in the fourth in a blowout. Remember, he only played 1 possession in the fourth quarter, and then he was on the bench.
So that's the weird thing. But everybody knew the game was out of hand. And I looked at him like, Brady should be really sitting down. We should get Blaine Gabbert in. And I was like, oh, man, we're still in the third quarter. So it's this odd mix of trying to protect Brady, but at the same time not getting him rusty to sit him for the fourth. But they're gunning for it, Broussard. He wanted that 5th touchdown. He wanted to go back-to-back. So he wants the MVP more than anything.
That's correct. Yeah. Correct.
I don't.
Moving on, little Chiefs-Titans. This game was out of hand, but not the way we thought it was. Titans actually provide, I'm not allowed to say mollywopping. Nick doesn't like it. It's his word. Titans provide the soul crushing in this one. Derrick Henry throwing a touchdown, also running for 86 yards. Ryan Tannehill, A.J. Brown took care of the rest for the Titans. Titans pulling off a statement win for the 2nd straight week in the NFC as Chiefs fall in a bad one. But Nick, let's stick with Tennessee. Is it time to consider the 5-2 Titans